Hello, my good friends on YouTube. I am making this video to talk about remembering Ozzy Osbourne. I want to talk about some of my stories with Ozzy. Got to meet him 3 times. I'll dive into that here in a little bit. And just pay tribute to the Prince of Darkness, the master legend. God bless Ozzy Osbourne, man. I'm walking and talking right now in between students, and I'm in Pasadena, California, staying with my mom at the moment for a few days, coming to see mom. I don't usually do these types of videos. You know, it's always guitar, education, entertainment, performance, stuff like that. But I'll do a walk and talk. Why not? I'd like to start off by saying, Ozzy's impact, and I was just texting someone this morning, his impact is monumental. It was monumental. You know, not just for guitar players like myself that dreamed of playing with him and never obviously did, but people all over the world. You watch all these clips, you know, from his reality TV shows, funny clips of him being goofy, all the way to the music. Black Sabbath, his solo career. You know, he's probably one of the few artists that's actually gone from one of the biggest bands of all time to being extraordinarily successful as a solo artist. God bless Ozzy, man. And the next immediate thing I want to say is this comes at very, very shitty timing for me personally, because I've already been dealing with a lot of loss in my father. My father passed over a month ago now, and I'm not here to talk about that, because this ain't about me, it's about Ozzy. But I bring this up because the depth of my feelings and how things have been, my perception of life since my dad passed, has just been completely fucked, for lack of better terminology. And anyone who's ever lost a parent, you know what I'm talking about. Life ain't the same. And while I'm coming on here making a video, and you guys probably think I'm okay, you know, deep down I'm not. But again, this isn't about that. It's to set up the idea that now losing one of my biggest heroes, certainly his music and his guitar players, Ozzy, that played with him, that's the fucking reason I started playing. So seeing that yesterday, Ozzy's passing, you know, it's like, life is short, man. I don't care what anyone says. Life is so short. It really is. Let me stay on track here. Maybe this view will cheer some of us up here. It's pretty incredible. I gotta do more walk and talk videos, you know. There's something about free flowing and off the cuff and just keeping it real, keeping it 100. As the youngsters might say these days. That's kind of nice and fresh, right? So I met Ozzy 3 times. Let me jump into this. I met Ozzy 3 different times. One time was the first time in 2011. It was like a backstage pass, meet and greet kind of a thing. And I had just posted a picture of that on my social media yesterday, on my Instagram and my Facebook. And at that time, I had been so incredibly obsessed with Ozzy Osbourne. I mean, you talk about obsession as a kid to want to play. If there was ever an artist I wanted to play with more than anything, if I could snap my fingers, or if you could say, hey, Brandon, take your pick. You know, it could be fucking Led Zeppelin, it could be anyone. Ozzy, unanimous, hands down for me. So anyway, I was so obsessed for those first 5 years of my guitar playing specifically. And then I had met Ozzy that first time. And I talked to him briefly, you know, there's people coming in and out, and I'm just some kid, you know what I mean? It's not like I had a lot of time to spend with him. But I talked to him, and we said a few sentences. There was some humor in there. I don't even really fully remember what was said. Yeah, I was probably just so starstruck. And we took a picture, and he choked my neck. If you've seen the picture, you know what I'm talking about. He like immediately put his hands around my neck and did like a pretty typical Ozzy thing. It makes me laugh now because I'm like, that was a fucking special moment, you know? Very, very special moment. And I didn't know that at that time. I just thought, yeah, he probably does this with everybody. I haven't found many pictures of him doing that with other people. Maybe that's just my experience. That's the first time I met him, 2011. And then I met him next year at a book signing. And then the next year I met him, I think it was at like a party somewhere. Not like a house party, but it was an event. I just can't remember exactly what the event was. This dates back like probably 13 years ago, 12 years ago, easily. So I met him 3 times. One of the times I handed him an old school promo package. Like I had like this, like, it's not like a Ziploc bag, but it was like a binder-esque kind of thing, like a little package. I know I'm not explaining that right. And I had recorded a demo of me playing like some of the solos, and it's like kind of a classic case of just show up and give them your stuff. Maybe you'll get a call. I'd send him stuff. I had like this whole 1-pager that had pictures of me, and it had like where I'm from. I remember handing it to him, and he took it. And I was like, oh my God. So those are some of my immediate stories of like actually meeting him and talking with Ozzy Osbourne. Now, mind you, again, like I'm coming from a place of like sheer obsession, you know. My first 4 or 5 years playing guitar was all about Ozzy and Metallica. That's all I cared about. And learning those Zakk Wylde riffs, the Randy Rhoads stuff, and then getting into Jakey Lee later was everything to me. And that's all I wanted to do was play with Ozzy Osbourne. I was very one-track minded. So again, all this is coming from someone that, you know, has a depth of reasoning and field within myself to say that, you know, God bless Ozzy, man. Like I love Ozzy to death. And, you know, it's hard to even like kind of think about him being gone at this point. I just want to come on and share some of that. You know, I hope this resonates with anyone who's a big Ozzy fan. And I know a lot of you guys who watch my channel, you guys are. And to kind of further compound the love for him, I've done so many covers of his songs and solos, from Zakk to Randy to Jake and some others. So I'm gonna go ahead and make like a tribute video of probably all of them, compilation all together at some point this weekend, and post that. And I hope you guys get a chance to, you know, reflect on your Ozzy stories and think about how great he was and how monumental his inspiration and everything is with him. So I just wanted to come on and say that, you know, I'm in between lessons right now and just thought I'd take a walk and make an off-the-cuff video. So I'm going to walk back now, and much love to all of you guys, the Ozzy's family, and all the fans of Ozzy Osbourne. And there will never be anyone like him. Let's conclude by saying that. Prince of Darkness. I mean, the dude invented heavy metal, you know, Black Sabbath. They invented heavy metal. You know, think about that for a second. We got all these metal bands and shit that we love, all these rock bands. Black Sabbath invented heavy metal. And now he's gone, Ozzy. It's pretty deep in my book, you know what I mean? All right, well, that's gonna do it, guys, for today in this video. Thank you for hanging out, and God bless Ozzy. Love you, Oz.